Look, I've come to the realization that the people who get that rise out of, attacking others, putting other people down, those are miserable people, right? They're not happy people. And so this is how they get joy in their life. And I feel like if you see memes like that, or if you see people getting attacked, or if you will sit back and have no emotion when you see unarmed individuals getting shot and killed, well then, I mean, look, you're a sociopath, right? And so I feel bad for you more than anything, right? And so if you want to attack me for being overly emotional or for passionately, defending those who are defenseless, then go ahead, you can attack me all you want. But am I saying that I'm better than you? I guess I'm going a little further than you are. Yeah, I'm fucking better than you, okay? Much better than you. You are garbage. I have no respect for women who voted for Trump, okay?
Yeah, me too.
I think so poorly of them, and the reason why is, yeah, I'm fucking better than you, okay? Much better than you. You are garbage. Is because, look, I don't think that you're a single issue voter. I just think you're dumb. Okay? I think you're fucking dumb. When you vote for someone who openly treats women like second-class citizens, who talks about them as if they're nothing more than a piece of meat, who has been accused of sexually assaulting them, who has been caught on tape talking about groping them and grabbing them by the pussy without consent, yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, yes. Okay? You are voting against your best interests. I'm losing my mind tonight because of how stupid the majority of the country is.
So some of you might have seen some blog posts that I wrote 18 years ago that some people happened to find online. And I'm sure most of you didn't see it, but that's okay. I'm gonna tell you about it anyway. And I know now more people will see it, but that's okay because we learn and we grow on this show and that's what we try to do together. So some of the stuff that was written on there was totally offensive, insensitive, ignorant. If you read it and go, wow, man, you need to learn a lot, you're absolutely right. So if any of you have already read it, I certainly apologize to the people who were offended by it because you were right to be offended. And it was a young, immature guy back then trying to show how cool he was by being edgy and politically incorrect. Well, what I didn't realize back then, and I think that I've learned throughout these years, is that being politically incorrect sounds fun to you, I guess, when you're a young guy like that, but not everybody sees it the same way. And if you're making jokes about sex as I was, you might see it a little bit differently if you look at it from the perspective of a woman who has been harassed or assaulted. Then you look at it from a completely different perspective, and understandably so.
No white straight male needs an AK-15. Okay, and they'll say, oh, well, what about the founding? No, okay, that's not what they meant. They didn't mean any AR-47s. Do the research, that's absolutely correct. We'll have it listed at GeoCities.
Yes, I agree with you, Cenk. So fucking much.
That's absolutely right. When you use the F word, you know it's real talk,
I said fuck.
So we have a bunch of people who wanted to make phone calls to the show because we wanted to have a discussion. So let's have the first caller. Argon of a cat. Are you there?
I wouldn't so much say a fan. I mean, maybe I used to be, but then you kind of declared kind of everything was racist. And then I was looking back and you were saying like everything was racist back then as well. And I'm thinking, why did I ever watch you guys?
Okay, right? This is what he's trying to do. He's trying to sandbag where he comes and says, I was a long-time fan, but until you said something racist. Of course, you're always a long-time fan before. That's bullshit! It's bullshit! What if someone's actually racist?
Get off the phone, you bearded fat
Say Cenk accusing Sarah Palin of saying that black people aren't really people.
You know, these are thugs. They're rioters. And I'm calling out the media saying, quit claiming that these rioters are peaceful. They're stomping on our flag, figuratively and literally, shouting death to cops, celebrating violence.
But let's note there that she said these protesters, they're not people.
Do you have the piece of paper in your hand there, Cenk?
She says, media, quit claiming the rioters are peaceful as they stomp on our flag, shout death to cops. No evidence for any of this.
So even though Cenk was literally reading out her words and got them right, he still went on to accuse her of thinking that black people weren't even people. But to his credit, he did retract that and apologize.
A little while ago, I did a video on Sarah Palin and how she attacked Black Lives Matter. And in that video, there's a word that's unclear. It sounded both like people and peaceful. So I thought she said that they are not people. It turns out, I think that in this proper context, it is that she did say they were not peaceful.
Yeah, I think that this time, Sarah Palin didn't say that black people weren't even human. This time. I mean, it could have been either way, Cenk. It could have been either way. It could have been Sarah Palin denouncing the Negroid race as being a race of subhumans, but this time it wasn't.
Hi, Cenk. I'm not sure if you remember me. I was on your show a while back, and you asked me, demanded that I make you a ham sandwich, and I was just kind of wondering if you still wanted that sandwich. I could probably put it in the mail for you.
And you got to realize that's the biggest load of horse crap you've ever heard in your life.
They took a poll in England of women, and 70% of them didn't want the vote. They thought...
I know, and the women in Saudi Arabia want the burqa. I know, it's because of the culture that they grew up in. Karen, give me a thank you. Look, everything's going great, but you're not being reasonable. You're being ridiculous. Give me a thank you. Give me a thank you for feminists for getting your right to vote. Otherwise, stop voting and go make me a ham sandwich.
Okay, Karen, everybody knows I said that as a joke. Okay, and you didn't fucking make me a ham sandwich. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Get the fuck off the phone. Get the fuck off the phone.
Get off the phone, you anti-woman, poor sandwich-making fuck.
Get off.
I'm a feminist. I'm the real feminist, bitch.
That'll make this a lot more
That's how I had to watch incest porn.
What?
You gotta turn the sound down. Then it's just porn.
I'm so to those memes in just a second. But if the memes are something that you've come across and you did not find them offensive, also consider the fact that now there are events on Facebook encouraging people to jump off bridges in honor of Harambe. Now, these events are posted and created and meant to be a joke, but some are not too happy about it. So I'm going to give you a few examples. There's one that says, jump off the Harbor Bridge for Harambe, jump off Telstra Tower for Harambe. We don't encourage suicide, so that's kind of letting people know this is just a joke.
Well, they had to add that later because they were starting to worry that the people were taking it seriously. I'm glad at least they were worried about it.
Yeah, and so people were also tweeting about it. Lucas Zalasko says, we were just invited to mass suicide bridge jump for Harambe on Facebook. Should I RSVP for anyone else? So later on, the creators of these pages posted messages indicating, hey, you know what, this is just a joke. Please don't take this seriously. This is crazy. We don't want anyone to take their own lives as a result of what happened to Harambe. But what's equally disturbing to me is just the number of racist memes that emerged from this tragic story of a gorilla getting shot and killed at the Cincinnati Zoo. So I want to show you a few of those examples. These are the memes that eventually convinced the Cincinnati Zoo to delete their Twitter and Facebook pages. Another unarmed African American shot dead. Let's show you another example. They shot my husband.
That's a real person. Okay, that's so nice of them to do that.
I think that's Gabourey Sidibe, but I could be wrong.
I'm not sure.
Here's another example. What y'all think would have happened to this gorilla? Rest in peace, Harambe. And then let's show you another example. Remember that kid that jumped into the gorilla tank? This is him. Feel old yet?
Yeah. Really funny.
And then let's give you guys one more. All gorilla lives matter.
Hey, Cenk, as someone you've previously misquoted and borderline slandered on your show, I'm wondering if you can speak to the research and fact-checking behind your show.
Okay, listen, I understand that's what he wants to do with the, you made a mistake, because everyone makes mistakes. Okay, but your mistake was being born! Your mom's bullshit! Your mom's bullshit! Get the fuck off the phone! Get the fuck off the phone!
Get the fuck off the phone, you YouTube beta male.
Okay, No, okay. We want to have discussion, right? Discussion. We want to talk about issues, not talk about this bullshit.
I said fuck. So he knows I'm in deep.
So now, some of our detractors loved that and made videos and tweets like, you got it wrong, Jake. We win, you lose. Mommy, he got it wrong, Mommy. He got it wrong. Okay.
Hi, this is Ben Shapiro, and I was just wondering, your production values are fabulous, and I was wondering where you got your money. Was it from Soros, or was it from anti-freedom nations in the Middle East like Qatar?
Look it, right? Shapiro's thing is all the time to take these things and make them, oh, it was true, but now it's not true. So fuck you! Fuck you! You get paid by all of fuck you and big money!
Get the fuck off the phone, you Jewish shekel collecting
Whoa.
My money, fuck your money! We're trying to have a discussion, you want to talk about money! All you Republicans, you want to talk about money! It's bullshit!
Rights. No, you don't need any stinking gay rights. He's going to get into a debate here with Zoe Tur. She's a transgender reporter. Now, he's the one threatening to take her rights away, right?
Right.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
Right?
Right. Right.
Right? Right?
Right.
Right?
Right. So you can understand why she's a little touchy about that. If somebody was looking to take my rights away, I'd be pretty pissed, right? He's the one that's constantly, belittling her and saying, "Oh, I'm not hating you. I just think, I feel sad for you." Oh, you were born that way? I feel sad for you. Okay. So let's be clear on who started this. Okay. Apparently, according to Shapiro, Zoe Tur also said,
"You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance."
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
Okay, ooh, Ben got really scared from that. Big Bad Ben? Not exactly. Little Bad Ben? So then Zoe apparently said, a lot, and CNN security reportedly escorted the commentator to his vehicle. Okay, so let's pause right there. Now look, things got a little heated. You shouldn't make threats like that. I get it, right? But I love how Shapiro's like, she called me a little boy. CNN, Mommy, please help me. Gabriel, I'm afraid about going to my car. What? Wait, I thought you felt sad for her. I thought you were the tough guy. What? He was caught on tape also saying this.
I've been overseas. I've flown helicopter missions, surveillance missions. I've been shot, stabbed. Being brave is being yourself. And being transgender is about the bravest thing you can do.
That ain't no woman. It's a man.
Hey, Jake, Dave Rubin here, former employee. So I noticed that you talk about Sam Harris a lot. You really obsess over the guy. So my question to you is, are you sexually attracted to Sam Harris?
Okay, very funny, right? We all get it. Dave Rubin used to be a part of the Young Turks. Oh, he's gone. Listen, I like the guy. Okay, I like Rubin. He left the show, okay, and that was bullshit! You left us! You broke my heart! Get the f*** off the phone! You are my favorite faggot! Fuck you! Fuck you! We're trying to have reasonable discussions! And you come in here!
Yeah, get off the phone, you homophobic, joker-looking f***.
These guys don't want to debate ideas. It's really as simple as that. So at the very personal level, I can tell you, so you've had Cenk on. He was my former boss for 2 years at TYT. He watched the original thing with Sam and then sat down with Sam for 3 hours.
Right.
Did you see any
Yes,
of that?
I did. I watched the whole thing.
3 hours. I watched that thing. I was working for him at the time. Literally, I was like this the entire time because I was having a headache. Because I could not believe that this person that I work for, who I respect, who I play basketball with every Sunday, that he was so dense to the ideas that Sam was portraying. And at the end of it, just as I said to you before, that at the end of mine, I thought I had made this conversation a little bit better. Cenk only doubled down on all of this shit.
Hi, Cenk. Paul Joseph Watson here, first-time caller. I'd really like to get your clarification on the Armenian genocide, specifically if you accept the historical fact that it happened.
Okay, all right, I understand, because that's bullshit! Get the f*** off the phone! That's racist! You're racist! Get the f*** out! Get the f*** out!
I don't know why you're yelling. It's a simple...
Get the f*** out! Get off the phone!
Get the f*** off the stage, you blue-eyed limey f***! Shut up, bitch!
Whoa. Okay, we're trying to have a reasonable discussion!
Lying on the bottom of the
It's time to talk about the Armenian genocide again. And no, it's not the 100-year anniversary anymore. And no, this isn't a photo opportunity for Kim Kardashian and her fat ass. It's just another year that the Armenians still cannot get what is an unbelievably simple request, which is, could you acknowledge that you killed a bunch of us? 1.5 million, to be more accurate. I mean, you killed other people. It wasn't like you had just killed Armenians, Turks. But you did. And the ongoing denial of the Armenian genocide by modern-day people who have all the facts accessible to them is an inexcusable outrage. So that's why I say fuck Turkey. Fuck Turkey for a variety of reasons. For their anti-Semitism, for their backward Islamic ways, the treatment of women and gays. That rhymed. For their treatment of the Kurds, for their dictator, and worst of all, for their Eurovision performances. I've been making videos about how the Young Turks, which is a show named after the group responsible for the Armenian genocide, is led by a man who continually denies the Armenian genocide. Not surprising. He's a bloated, fat brown buffalo from Turkey. This is standard fare for those dudes. Standard. He's on record denying it, he's written articles denying it, spreading his denial, and he has not once acknowledged it. Not once. And he has the platform and daily access to a camera. And by the way, this is the bare minimum that is being asked from the descendants of this traumatic historical event. Sorry, not historical event, that's the language the Turks use. The genocide. The Turks are responsible for genocide.
Responsible for genocide. Responsible for genocide. Responsible for genocide.
In the post-game show today, I want to talk about, because I've been looking into the number of Syrian refugees that are of Armenian descent.
Have you been looking into that, Anna? I wonder why. Is it because your family were Syrian refugees of Armenian descent? Oh God, you are such a narcissist.
Okay, so in Aleppo alone, there were about 80,000 Armenians. And so, of course, Aleppo, a place of extreme violence because of the uprising and the...
Did you say Aleppo? What is Aleppo?
They need to get the fuck out of there too, right? So these are Armenians. These are Armenians that, by the way, a lot of our opponents claim that they care about. Like, they're outraged by this show. They're outraged by the name of this show, right?
Right. Yeah, Anna, we do care about the Armenians and the Armenian genocide. I've been making videos about them for years. I've had many a conversation and many a cab in Los Angeles talking about the Armenian genocide. I love how she's trying to make light of like, oh, what's the big deal? A genocide that's been consistently ignored by the people who perpetrated it? Yeah, whatever. Nobody can win in the empathetic Olympics. When Anna's taken part, this fidget's gonna win the gold. Yes, Anna, other people can care about people. I know it's weird for you. I know you were just researching your personal family history because that's how your mind operates. I don't have Armenian blood, and yet I make videos about them. Kinda crazy, isn't it? Just like how I make videos about the Jews, and I'm not Jewish.
They're outraged by a fucking column that was written 25 fucking years ago that someone sitting on the set right now retracted. They're outraged.
Oh, a double fuck in that sentence. And look at Cenk. Look at how sullen he is, like a fat kid who just got caught with his fat hand in the cookie jar, which has apparently happened more than once.
They're outraged by a fucking column that was written 25 fucking years ago that someone sitting on the set right now retracted. They're outraged.
No, you fucking dunce. He didn't retract it. Do you want to take a look at his statements? And by the way, it's not the fact that he wrote that article. By the way, he wrote 2 articles in regards to the Armenian genocide and his denial, his public denial of it. It's not the fact that he wrote that back then. It's the fact that he continues to deny. The man sitting next to you right now, this moment, is 40-something years into his denial. It's ongoing. It's happening right now.
But they're the same fucking people that do not give a shit about these Armenian refugees. I don't give a fuck shit. Fuck shit. Fuck shit. Fuck, right? Fuck it. That's it. That's who I am.
You fucking traitorous, hook-nosed, snotty bitch.
Trying to find a safe haven because of the violence in Aleppo. I'm sure you care so much about Armenians. Or do you use the issue of Armenians and the genocide to push your hatred for Cenk?
Hatred, no, it's rightful condemnation. And Cenk is a butthole for about 1,000 different reasons. So yeah, fuck Genk and fuck you, Anna. Yeah, maybe if you cared about the Armenians a little bit more, you should quit the goddamn Young Turks, which is run by an Armenian genocide denier. How many times can it be explained to you, you dumb bitch?
That's what it's really about. Anyway, let's take a fucking break because I'm about to lose my shit.
Okay. No, you already did lose your shit, you scummy little fuck.
Okay. They had never even heard
Never gave
it.
a fuck about the genocide. Never.
Never. Oh, right. Nobody cares about the genocide. Oh, yeah, you guys run a show in which you could comment on it, but don't. This video that you're watching now is not a video on the Young Turks. This is a segment I have carved out of their 3-hour live broadcast. This is buried in a 3-hour video. They will not highlight this. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is not important to them. And once again, it's Cenk continuing to deny the Armenian genocide. Do you want to see his retraction statement? It's the most laughable, bullshit, half-assed apology I've ever seen in my life. Watch this. Here's his article from back in the day. Historical fact or falsehood? And by the way, this is a picture of him back in the day. You're welcome. Hence, once you really examine the history of the time, it becomes apparent that the allegations of the Armenian genocide are unfounded. Just a blatant, completely ignorant statement. And immoral and laughable. Now, fuck that. Then, last year, he wrote the following. Strap on for this one. Today, I rescind the statements I made in my Daily Pennsylvanian article from 1991 entitled, Historical Fact or Falsehood? Oh, you rescind it, do you? You take it back? You want a do-over? When I wrote that piece, I was a 21-year-old kid. Yeah, it's kind of an adult, but yeah. You weighed 300 pounds. You were not a kid. Who had a lot of opinions that I have since changed. Interesting, you changed it? Why don't you just make one statement and say, the Armenian genocide happened? That's it, 3 words. Well, that was 4 words if you include the the. Back then, I had many political positions that were not well researched. Idiot. For example, back in those days, I held a pro-war rally for the Persian Gulf War. Anyone who knows me now knows that I am a very different person today. I also rescind the statements I made in a letter to the editor I wrote in 1999 on the same issue. Yeah, another denial. And by the way, rescinding doesn't mean that he's saying anything happened. This is bullshit. I mean, what is this? This is like somebody in a courtroom pleading innocent, and then a day later they come back, 25 years later, they come back and go, I rescind my plea of innocence. So, you're saying you're guilty? No. I'm just saying I rescind the plea of innocence. Huh? Look at this. Back then, I had a very different perspective, and there were many things that I did not give due weight. You do know a lot about weight. On this issue, I should have been far, far more respectful of so many people who had lost family members. Their pain is heart-wrenching and should be acknowledged by all. Oh God, this is his virtue of, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. So in other words, he shouldn't have publicly denied the Holocaust because it hurt people's feelings. My mistake at the time was confusing myself for a scholar of history, which I most certainly am not. Just removing yourself from... Yeah, it's very tricky to figure out if this happened or not, gank. About a 2-second Google search would give you clarity, but yeah. I don't want to make the same mistake again, so I am going to refrain from commenting on the topic of the Armenian genocide, which I do not know nearly enough about. You've only had 3 decades to look into it. Oh, yeah. It's one of those real riddles in modern history. What the fuck happened to those 1.5 million people? Thank you for being patient with me on this issue, though I might not have always merited it. Well, I'm not patient with you. You are a disgrace and a joke. Eat shit.
There is no one here but me.